Warning: the views in this program are based on the opinions of hosts and guests. We try to find common ground in very uncommon and sometimes uncomfortable topics. This show is not one-sided, not political. It's merely an avenue to come together to look at facts and use the experts in their fields of study. It's okay to disagree, so sit back, grab a beverage of your choice, and let's have a conversation.
You go home and cry to your granny. Dolph, tie up the brat. Lisa, hold the book. Vincent, get the truck. And Keith, darn it, change your name, please. That's not scary, and I'm embarrassed to say it. Boris, try that. Keith, you know. Oh, watch out for Keith.
I love that.
Sorry.
Still John's favorite video.
It is.
I was like,
you know, you mute us, but some of the best conversation is while all the intros are going.
I actually don't mute us. It automatically does. I can't take it off mute once you're playing a video.
it's probably safe.
It probably is because we swear more and stuff.
Yes, we do.
And I drooled on myself. I don't even know how that happened. Like,
It's got to be the shirt.
That's supposed to be me.
it's supposed to be you.
It
Yeah.
was the pizza
All the
before
way.
here.
It's all down my
Probably, yeah.
cup. It's
Well,
I'm
happy
okay now.
Friday, November 12th. everybody.
woohoo.
The day after Veterans Day.
Yep.
And want to give a shout out to our veterans out there.
Thanks.
Definitely.
Thank you for your service, for those who have served and currently serve. And do you ever stop serving? You never stop serving.
Not really.
Your oath of enlistment does not run out.
Right.
Actually, there is and I don't have it with me. I wasn't prepared for that, but there actually is a group of veterans that are asking for other veterans, an organization to re-up their oath.
Really?
Yeah, so you can do it either online or you can actually go and do it. I'll have to look that up. And
Oh, that's
bring
cool.
Bring it next time.
It's like redoing your marriage vows.
Pretty much. It is
That's
kind
cool.
of so you can do it online or you can actually do it in other ways too.
It's interesting. I didn't know that.
Stuck on the table.
You're always stuck.
It's stupid wheel.
She always has issues.
Just give me a minute.
All right, we'll give you a minute. While we're giving you a minute, want to give a shout out to our lovely shirts here. We all
Oh yeah.
sharing the same theme.
And this was
And
for me, this was not planned.
No,
No,
it wasn't.
Ours
This
was a
was my
little
shirt that I
planned.
wore to the airport last week.
Yeah,
And
we put that up there.
Please
and
tell me you
survived
washed it.
too, huh?
I did wash
Okay,
it.
good.
It was freshly laundered
Just
today.
laundered.
Laundered today. It's not a word
Did
that
you
I
get any
actually-
action at the airport when you were wearing it?
There were plenty of people that gave me either a thumbs up or a shout out. Yes.
Oh, we got honked at like 100 times.
Yes, I want to give a shout out to Mike's T-shirts. He's local here in
Yes.
Queen Creek, Santan Valley.
Awesome,
he's got a
dude.
great selection
Look
of
at-
stuff.
Oh my god.
So
Super cool, dude.
if you're local, go check him out. He does set up over by the Mesa Gateway Airport.
On Sossaman and
Pecos.
Pecos?
Yeah,
Pima.
Really?
No,
Pecos?
Pecos, yeah.
Pecos.
Yeah, I will have
So-
to go over
It
there
was
and take a
funny
look.
because I told him, And I said, oh, yeah, there's another dude up the road that does it. And he laughs by the airport. Yeah, that's me. I was like, oh, that's my penis.
So he's
Okay.
he's either out off a Hunt Highway and Arizona Farms or Pecos and Sauceman. And
I didn't see his hat.
I know. He didn't.
We literally got there when he got there.
The poor guy's setting up, and there's already 4 cars.
Yeah,
lined
there was
up
like
trying to
6
buy
cars
stuff.
there while we were there, and he was just pulling boxes out.
So he's
The
got
shirt he had on was awesome.
That was really cool. Yeah, really cool. So, so I do have his information. If you're not local and you want to order something from him, I do have his phone number.
Did you just read the Joe Biden Hillary Clinton one?
No, I didn't.
I almost just spit out my drink.
I can't read that far.
Joe Biden is just Hillary Clinton with a smaller dick. That's the best.
See, now I want to submit another meme to the meme of the week that I've been sitting on for weeks, and I keep meaning to use it, but I forget. It's the haven't we just taken this? Anybody can be president, just a little
too far. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of your last week's picture, there it is.
Yes, there we go.
You did send it to us.
Sitting in the airport.
Why do you have a diaper on your face?
Because I'm actually at the airport.
They still make you wear diapers?
Yeah.
Yes, they do in the airport.
Yeah, till January.
Till January?
Yeah, then what happens in January? The virus goes away?
Apparently.
Magically, the pills will be out.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The pill.
The pill.
Yeah.
The what?
It's going to be called the pill, too.
The pill will make it all go away.
You hear about the pill?
What the fuck are you talking about?
There's a pill. There's a COVID pill.
There's a pill.
Yeah.
Well, there's a morning after pill, too, but I mean, I
You
don't
know
expect
about
you
the
guys to
pill?
know about
You
that.
don't know about the pill?
No, I don't know about the pill.
Haven't you been on? What rock have you been on?
I almost spit my coffee out.
Well, I can't help that. It sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, which company's taking that out? It's the one that's
Pfizer, isn't it Pfizer?
It's
And
not
Merck
Pfizer
are
anymore.
both
Pfizer
working on
is
it, but
not
Pfizer-
FDA approved. It's a different company because Pfizer has too many lawsuits.
No, but the
J&J
company that
split
does
into
it,
two this week.
Coma something or coma.
Or
Hold,
announced
please.
that they're splitting into two.
Well,
J&J is going to be one that's for
Pfizer had to be something else.
So J&J is splitting into two now, and it's not going to be just called Johnson and Johnson.
Really?
But there's going to be the J&J for like home products.
Okay.
Like, baby
And then-
stuff and things like that. Then there's going to be
Please.
the other Johnson and Johnson
For medical.
for
The portion.
medical equipment and drugs.
Interesting. By the way, I want to give a shout out to anybody who's joining us tonight. Thank you for jumping on with us. If you're on Rumble, you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, which it doesn't look like anybody's on YouTube right now. So we got a 0 as a count. So I don't know who's on Rumble, but thanks for joining us. We hope you share it with everybody. This is definitely an important night for us, honoring our veterans. And also John got his wish tonight. He's got my dad on the show with him. So
he might be sorry for
He
that.
may-
No,
he-
absolutely not.
he might be sorry.
No, absolutely not. I'm going to keep poking the bear too.
So for those of you that have a dog, they have a new toy out for your dog. It's a Sleepy Joe chew toy.
I love it.
We've ordered 4.
Did we?
No, not yet.
Isn't
We
that
might be
great?
ordering 4.
That is awesome.
That's
They're on
great.
his feet.
What's that?
They're on his feet. Why are they red?
It's his slippers.
Slippers.
I don't know. That's what they chose. Red,
The
white,
best part would have been if the Sleepy Joe chew toys were made by My Pillow.
That's awesome. We got to reach out to
Mike,
him.
you missed out.
that would have been great.
Mike, you missed out. That
No.
would have been awesome.
Oh, that would have been great. All right, let's continue on some memes of the week. That is so true.
That's great.
Yep.
Some of these I forgot. Oh, yeah. Well, there it is.
Oh,
a gas
that's
generator being
awesome.
used to charge a dead battery in an electric car.
That's awesome.
That's funny. That's funny. I don't care who you are.
That's
I can't find it. All it's talking about is the vaccine for the 13-year-olds.
Isn't that so true?
that is so true.
Whatever happened to those creepy girls?
That's my favorite one. They grew up.
No, this is my favorite one.
That's
Oh,
just
boy.
mean. That's just
Oh,
mean.
come on. That's great. That's great.
That's what.
Come on, she is. Such
Should
a
I tell you?
She is.
Should I
such a
tell you
hypocrite.
exactly what I told you, or would that be inappropriate?
I don't really care what you told me.
Would everybody else care?
Probably.
The idea is not to get thrown off tonight, remember?
Oh, then
Oh,
I
that's
we're on YouTube.
That's we're on 3 platforms. So if we lose one, we still got 2 more. So
kind of like being on an airplane with 3 engines, right?
Yeah.
If we lose one, we're still flying.
totally
You just roll-
good.
you just roll
Totally
the
good.
dice.
We're not dropping out of the air.
Yeah, if I say that, we're definitely getting kicked
All of a sudden, we
off
get the
one
red
of
light. We're off the air.
yep.
See, that's inappropriate, and I love it. That's why I sent it.
No, that's great. I love that. That is great. I don't remember what this one was. Oh, we'll talk about that one later.
That's the one that made you mad.
Yeah, we'll talk about that story
That's the end of
later.
your memes.
I don't want to bring that up right now. That's the end of the memes for the week. So what do we got for headlines, John?
So for headlines, we got a lot, but I cleared the decks and I started over from scratch this morning. You can go ahead and turn me on here.
I don't want to be here for that.
Wow.
Just 'cause
No, it's not
Wendy's
long.
here,
It's not
I
long.
don't-
I cleared the decks of all the old stuff.
No, I meant I didn't want to be here while he turned you on.
Oh, see. So
Look at that, all professional.
Oh, look at that. It is.
Yeah, but
we're
can he
getting-
actually
We're
click
getting
his links?
fancy around here.
Because we've been through this before.
Record number of American workers have quit their jobs recently, signaling a labor
Quit?
market squeeze.
Quit,
Quit.
or
Quit.
Quit their jobs is what it says. What it's classified as.
Which is true.
Inflation levels across the United States expected to surge to another record high. Federal survey records.
oh,
Reserve
did you
survey.
the meat thing I sent you?
The meatflation.
The meatflation.
I did not put that up.
Yeah,
there. You
bacon
just
is
said
up
it.
20%,
It's ridiculous.
The chicken's up too.
and yeah, turkey right now this
Turkey,
time of
right.
year is up something like
It's like double the
20.
price, isn't it?
It's like
Yeah,
triple.
turkey.
It's usually like 70 cents a pound. It was like $1.50.
It's getting bad.
Guess we got to
The
go to
report
hang out with
is-
Craig.
There's a report out there that says Build Back Better would make U.S. most taxed in the developed world.
Doesn't surprise me.
I was watching an interview with Jen Psaki, who's back from COVID,
Oh,
and she was saying that
Peppermint
she-
Patty's back.
Peppermint Patty is back, and she was arguing with reporters saying that it is not going to cost anything. And all I kept saying is, this is also the people that said that we are not leaving anybody behind in Afghanistan.
Right.
So believe what you want.
You know.
Under the supply chain, the White House is studying closing another oil pipeline.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes,
Why
they
not?
are.
why not?
Let's go, Brandon. Southern border.
Where's my sign?
You didn't bring it
Oh,
up.
I need my
We have
sign.
an estimated another 100,000 that are heading for the border right now, coming through Mexico. Mexico officials could not stop them. If you didn't see that in the news, looks like the White House is not denying that they may pay migrants that have been separated from their kids up to $450,000 a piece.
What is wrong? What is wrong with us?
So you know what a 9/11 victim was paid? See, these are the things that I'm basically pushing the button right here.
I don't even think
They're doing it.
I don't even think a quarter of that were they.
They get $100,000. $100,000.
What is
You
the
get-
definition
when
of a
you are-
9/11
when you're in the
victim?
military, when you're in the military, you get a $250,000 insurance policy. Here, they want to give up to $450,000 per person.
So
a
husband
a
and
family
wife.
of a family of 4.
You need to reword that because it's not. It's per illegal. Let's make sure we don't forget that point of it.
Well, that okay per illegal person, but
Thank
they're not specifying that. What they're saying is that a
So
family of-
mom can get 450, dad can get 450, kid can get 450,
kid number 2 can get
kid number
450.
2, number
Kid
3,
number
number
three.
5.
No, that's not much money.
Well, and the point is, and I've heard it multiple places mentioned during the week. Kids and parents are, if you want to talk about illegal actions, kids and parents are separated by the legal system all the time in the United States.
Right.
We
Kids
take
that-
kids away all the time.
Kids and parents are separated all the time in military families.
Right.
For months on end.
Yep.
They can't even specify whether this is going to be, were they separated for hours? Were they separated for days, weeks, months, what the time frame is? The White House won't comment.
You're illegal. It doesn't matter. I
They
don't
were
give a
separated.
shit.
They got taken into the other room and, used the bathroom. They were separated. Nobody knows.
It's ridiculous.
So everybody sees that the Biden administration mandates were put on hold by a federal appeals court.
Yes. But then the White House is telling businesses to ignore it.
Isn't that crazy? Don't
But
worry about the
then-
fact that it's currently illegal.
Right.
Just go
But
ahead
then
and do it
Arizona
anyhow.
too.
So 10 states are suing Biden over the vaccine mandates for healthcare workers.
Yep.
Nice.
I think it's actually 11 now, John. I think today's somebody else.
That's according.
What
this
are
was
these
as
10?
of this morning? So
Yeah.
if somebody jumped on this afternoon, that's possible. I didn't catch that. There was a senior NIH doctor who pushes back on COVID vaccines
Good.
mandates, and this was an interesting one. Loudoun County, can they not stop doing bad
seriously.
things? Virginia pharmacy incorrectly administers adult COVID-19 vaccine to 112 kids.
112 kids?
ridiculous.
Whoops.
That's
probably-
that's more than a
In
whoops.
It's probably
in
the
Loudoun
FDA.
County. How in the Loudoun County cannot stop?
It's probably the one
screwing
that's not FDA approved too. It's probably still the
I
EAU
didn't
one.
get that far in the article to see, but it was the non-kid version.
Jesus.
So
Is
and
it
this-
different
this-
though?
But the point is that it is different, and the point is that
Because
this
it
is
totally
just- this is just
sterilizes
the
you
tip of the
instead of
iceberg.
just
This
sort
is
of
just
doing
the
it.
tip of the iceberg, and it's like, so how can we not
Be skeptical.
be skeptical?
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Well, the thing is that Joe Biden said, I believe last night, I may be wrong, and I may have been yesterday.
We're leaving nobody behind in Afghanistan.
No, that too. But he said that that this particular pharmacist that did this is under investigation.
Oh, jeez.
So
Well,
that,
yeah, we
I
got to throw
hope
somebody
so.
under the bus.
that makes me feel good.
Everybody is seeing the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. We'll just leave it at that. It looks like the judge is going to rule on a couple things tomorrow. I thought it was odd that it was happening on a Saturday, but everybody's seen the tragedy that happened at Astroworld down in Houston.
That's terrible.
It is
No,
terrible.
what happened?
Mm-mm.
So currently, it was 8. A 9th person unfortunately died. It was either yesterday or today. Hundreds others were injured in a crowd surge at a concert.
Yep.
Ooh, that's tough to control too.
So, and unfortunately, the downside was medical personnel were trying to get to the
But
stage
they couldn't.
and they couldn't.
Yep.
And people were still surging, and it was crushing more people, and it was they were actually having to body surf the injured out.
And everybody's getting sued.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
It's funny thing is that I don't remember who the star was.
I can't get into us on Rumble.
But they said that he's being sued, being blamed for continuing the show, and yet he's saying that show management was responsible for starting and stopping the show, and he had no control over that. So
Right.
that'll probably stay in court for a
Yeah,
few.
Travis Scott was the performer,
Travis-
he
Thank
doesn't.
you.
He claims he did not necessarily understand what was going on at the
Exactly.
time.
Yep.
So, and I could partially see that being the case. What do you see on stage, right? Unfortunately,
How do you know? It's dark. It's bright. You can't see anything
you got
down
lights in your
there.
eyes. I mean, but on the other hand, the unfortunate part of it was that the dead range from 14 to 27.
I think Rumble's down.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't get it.
No, we're not off the air. Rumble
We're still
itself is
going. Just
down,
Rumble
'cause
is not.
I can't get Rumble on my phone.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's
You see
coming
that
up.
Elon Musk lost the poll in Twitter, and so he now he had to sell off $5 billion.
Really?
Yes, but he's doing it. He's not shirking away from it. So
Good.
I saw that today. BLM in New York is telling the new New York City mayor that if they bring back the crimes unit, there's going to be more riots in the streets. So it's basically either continue with the crime that is now,
Right.
or there's going to be riots. Take your pick. You want gunshots, homicides, and crime in general, or do you want riots?
Well, you could stop the riots. That's the whole thing. If you wanted to stop the riots, you could stop the riots. That's the question. Does you want to stop the riots?
No.
Probably not. So
in politics, the travel ban for dozens of countries has been lifted. So as long as you can show your vaccination status, or if you have a negative test, you can enter the country. The infrastructure bill passed earlier this week, if anybody saw that. And the Washington Post finally corrects its article puts out a correction about the Steele dossier.
Mhm.
And it looks like people are going to go to jail for lying.
Hmm.
wow. Hard to believe.
That
years
is hard to
after the
believe.
fact.
Hard to believe.
That is very hard to believe.
So we'll see what happens.
Interesting. Just to make one comment, when you go back to when you're talking about another 100,000 illegals coming towards us again, is that correct? Is that the number?
Yeah, well, the number fluctuates, so it could be more than that. It could be less than that. They're saying it's as much as 100,000, but even that number could be going up.
I figured out a way to end all of this issue.
A moat?
Oh, if we just do simply one thing, we convert a republic to a Marxist government, everybody will stop trying to get in here. Think about it.
Well, if you haven't heard, so some of I think it was DeSantis in Florida said that he's going to take all illegals that they catch in Florida and they're shipping them up to Delaware.
Yep.
Mm.
Great move. Great move. Yep.
I don't know who's on YouTube or Facebook, but give us a shout out. Let us know who you won, because I cannot get on Rumble. I cannot get on a Rumble page. So maybe we got kicked off Rumble.
No, I think the whole page is down.
Is it? Because it started acting weird. So I don't know who's on YouTube.
I
with
just
us
got
right
on
now,
you.
so-
I just got
I
on.
see us on
Do you want to get
Rumble.
on
Oh, you do?
YouTube?
I see us on Rumble right now.
Yeah, because it's not. Wow, that's weird. Because it's not letting me.
It's
in.
not
See?
letting me
It's
in
playing.
either.
It's playing.
When is that from, though?
It says live.
See, I can't even get mine in.
I have the red live light on.
Wave, Lindsay, wave, and let's see if it comes
Well, it
up.
takes a minute.
Yeah, there's a delay,
But the fact that I'm still looking down and I haven't looked up yet makes me think it's been a while.
You crashed Rumble.
Hi, Michael. Why would you crash Rumble? That's just mean.
see,
Do you like my
this
shirt,
is what we
Mike?
get. We make the comment about 3 engines and keeping us in the air, and we
lose one.
lost one already.
Dang it.
Son of a bitch.
We gotta stop doing that.
I
Damn
just
it.
saw you wave. So when did you wave?
30 seconds ago.
So
So that one's working. Well, I'm restarting mine.
Yeah, I can't get into.
You
mine
want to go to
either.
YouTube and be on there? Well, you can see the people on YouTube.
Yeah,
so
we can
never
see
mind.
YouTube on there. Now we got 4 people on. That's good.
strange that you're working and they're not.
I know it's weird. So what
My
happened
computer.
to
This is the old new computer, so we'll see.
what happened to Newsom? Is he back?
Gavin?
Yeah.
Gavin is back. Yeah,
no, but apparently he had a bad reaction from the COVID vaccine.
no, that was the rumor.
Or was that a bunch of shit?
It may be true. We don't know. We
I don't
can't
know.
prove it. Allegedly, the official story is that his family had an intervention to get him to stop being a workaholic.
Right.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
could say stop being an asshole, but that didn't
No,
work.
they like.
I was
that
going for
part,
ass hat, but you know.
that his kids had an intervention with him for him to take some time off and spend it with
You
them.
could take
And
a-
the
you could
Rona
take a lot of
vaccine
time
was
off.
the answer.
That had nothing to do with him.
He,
Allegedly.
he can retire
Well,
permanently.
you don't think that the media would admit that there was a reaction to any kind of vaccination?
No.
God forbid they would do that.
No,
So
of
that's,
course
that's
not.
not
Of
going to
course
happen.
not. It's totally fine. It's totally safe.
All right. So before we get into your
Mom says Rumble froze up. I know, Ma.
before we get into your presentation, Dad, I do want to talk about the email you sent me today.
Oh,
What did you start now?
Nothing that you'll be happy about. That's I can promise you that.
Oh, yeah.
I sent it to John earlier.
Oh, you did?
And,
You saw it
and
already.
I don't
He's
don't read
riled
his-
up
I don't read
already.
his
he might not have seen it. So this took place in British Columbia, right?
British Columbia, Canada, right?
Oh, that.
Oh, that.
Again, you need to stop going on social media.
Mm-hmm.
But so I looked it up. It's a true story. It's not
It is a
made up
true
on
story.
social.
Yeah,
social
that's not
media.
surprising.
It's just, I mean, it could have happened here too. It probably has happened here. We're not aware of
You
it.
get. I mean, years ago there were people that were kicking over tombstones in memorial cemeteries.
Sure.
So
And when you get throat punched
There was
in the
something
throat,
that
you know why
the,
it happened.
here in Arizona, the memorial cemetery up in Anthem that has that really great Veterans Day memorial. It has the 5 stones
Mhm.
on the
oh yeah, so when the shadow
Yeah.
hits
the
it,
shadow
yeah.
and it puts the seal of the United
I was
States. on
telling
it.
Dad about
Sounds
that.
really
yeah.
cool.
That was defaced 2 years ago, I think, or something
Yeah.
like that. It happens. I mean, unfortunately, it happens.
The question,
vandalism.
Yeah, the question is, why does it happen? I mean, yes, there's a different viewpoint on a lot of things today. We have a divided country. Everybody knows that. Young people today don't get the same feelings and don't have the same loyalty that we grew up with. They're not dedicated to the same things we're dedicated to. And not all of them. I can't speak for all of them. Some of them are not like that. But a large majority of our young people today believe it's okay to kneel for the anthem, believe it's okay to downplay the flag, or disrespect the flag, or disrespect the military or the police. They think this is all okay because they're told that. And I don't know how you get around that. But things like this just reinforce the fact that we have a split, divided world we live in. And there's those that are okay with the way things are going now because they're disrupting everything. And as you know, when you separate people and you have that division, you have uncertainty, you have restlessness,
What's causing that?
Primarily, I mean, if you want my answer to it.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Okay. Well, I think it's the media. I think it's
Fucking media.
academia. I think it's Hollywood. I think it's all the things that get the attention of young people today, and they buy into it, including the Democrats. I mean, they have a message out now that's very scary. I go on and I argue with people. No, I shouldn't say argue, but sometimes it does go to
Argue.
You do.
But debate.
Let's call it for what it is.
Argue.
But I debate with people when they say to me, well, you're old fashioned. You don't, your time has passed and everything. I say, yeah, I'm old and I may be old fashioned, but how can patriotism be a passe word? How can you people ignore the fact that we have a country that has liberty, a constitution, a flag that represents everybody, and you want to replace the flag, you want to replace the national anthem? What's going on? I don't understand it. And
So
See, I think it's because of a different reason. I think it comes down to the parents. Because of that simple thing that we all grew up with is, what do? We all respected our parents. That's where it changed. As soon as you lose that respect, you lose respect for everything else.
there's a certain amount of that. Now, Wendy and I have had multiple conversations about it, and we think that deep down, our philosophy on it is the fact that it's a loss of, what do they want to call it? Judeo-Christian values.
Yep.
Doesn't mean you necessarily have to go to church,
No,
but just
it's that
believing in those values
loving,
is the biggest thing that we
yes.
seem to have gotten away from. And it seems like a lot of it is getting perpetuated by, the things that they see on social media and TikTok and all this crap. And, there's the, what do they call it? The sexualization of children now and things like that. And, what was that thing that was on Netflix a little while ago? Little Angels.
the cheerleaders or whatever. Yeah.
Something like that.
That are like strippers.
Yeah. And it's crazy things like that are getting out of control. But I would say that I disagree with you.
that's good. Tell me why.
Because why is it that we're sitting here all wearing Let's Go Brandon t-shirts?
Because we believe in the message that goes with that.
But I think that there's a certain amount of people that are still the silent majority that believe. What does it say on the bottom of your shirt, LC? FJB.
So that's a good point, because that's one thing I always try to argue with you is that, you hear about the people that the media, again, makes it sound like the numbers of people that support FJB are higher than what they really are.
Or lower than what they really are.
No. Well, that's what I mean.
Yes.
The people that don't support
they try,
them are higher
they
than what
exaggerate the numbers one way or the other,
Right,
whichever
right.
suits their narrative.
Right.
But I think that there is a silent majority. There is a lot of good, hardworking, want to go to work, want to, go to church, things like that. I see a lot of stories now about parents that are taking their kids out of public schools.
Hell
and all
yes.
of a sudden, I saw several stories about now parochial schools enrollment is up dramatically.
Huge.
Because of the fact that that's where they get back to the Judeo-Christian values that you can get from a parochial school.
So
I'm probably saying that wrong, but
No, you parochial.
what's
That's right.
Oh my God, what's the school that I applied for? That Kendra puts her kids
the
in.
Legacy?
Legacy.
Yeah.
So Legacy School District down here is same kind of thing. Very same, not Christian based, but those values, very patriotic. You have to learn all of that. All of that. And they are full. There's a 2-year waiting list for these schools. They're building them like crazy.
But the point I think John's making is there's a lot of people out there that don't buy all this crap that's coming out from the left. If I'm right, is that what you're trying to
Yeah,
say?
no, I would agree because I mean we were up in Heber, which is a small little town up in the middle of nowhere, Arizona, a handful of weeks ago, and some girl, we'll say, I call her a girl because she's way younger than I am, probably in her early 20s, and she's working at a pizza place, and she goes, we walk in to grab some pizza, and she makes the comment of, just letting you know we're a little short-handed today, and we were like, well, at least you're here, and she goes, well, that's because my parents taught me right.
Hell yes.
Interesting.
Excellent
Absolutely.
response. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, the whole thing on this that is mind-boggling to me is if you talk about marketing, an idea or a principle or anything like that, everything we talk about is not hard to understand or figure out. Why should patriotism be so hard to sell to the other side when they have no problem selling children, sex trafficking, drugs, critical race theory, or racism?
But I think you answered that because they're selling that. They're selling that.
Well,
as
why are they
normal.
buying it? That's the question.
Well, if that's the only view you see,
Because it's fun.
it's the only view you see.
It doesn't hold you
TikTok is
responsible
fun.
for
Wait
anything.
till we get you on TikTok. You will
It's-
find out how fun it is.
It's a simple question. Everybody can sit and ask themselves, 2 years ago, was your life better or worse than it is right now?
Right.
Better.
It's a very simple question.
I'm better because I'm on coffee table. I was not on this in 2020.
Really?
True.
Wow.
Yes,
But-
yes.
Gas is doubling in price. Produce and
Double.
anything you buy is doubling in price.
Yes.
And but what still floors me is you still get these, I'm going to say it, these assholes on
Ass
social
hats.
media that still walk around in a fog going, oh, things aren't as bad as it's made out to be.
Well, it's
Things
not
are
necessarily-
okay right
Not
now.
necessarily a fog. And I say
Okay,
that
we're
because
back
of the-
on.
well,
We're good.
I mean, Saki said, so Peppermint Patty said today during her press briefing,
I like Peppermint Patty.
and she definitely can say and talk around a subject very well. Doesn't
Right.
I mean, she's got a talent for that. But she was
She talks about nothing.
she was pressed and
literally just talks in
asked
circles.
about the gas prices and what is the Biden administration going to do about it. And she and hawed, and she avoided the question, and then she came right back around and she goes, in the long term, higher gas prices are going to wean us off of gasoline, so that way we can be better on electric.
Absolutely.
And that's always the answer.
That's always the
It's
answer.
to support their Green
And
New
so
Deal.
then the question is, okay, so is this a predetermined strategy?
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
You can't tell me that closing that pipeline wasn't. First thing he did.
Well, that was just because he's done everything to just do the opposite of what Trump had
Right.
already done for
Exactly.
4 years. Again,
He still is.
I've said it multiple times. He could have gone and slept in the basement of the White House for the last 9 months, and he'd be better off than where he is right
Where
now.
he is right now.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, it's funny because Lindsay and I took a trip up the Globe last weekend, right? And we passed this gas station and it was closed down. And I don't know how long it's been closed down, but they still had the prices up for gas.
Yep.
And it was $1.87 for regular. And it's,
Should have taken a picture.
I should have. I think next time we go up there, I will,
We'll be back
because
up
it
there.
was interesting.
Yeah, by that time it'll be $6.
It'd be, yeah, well,
It's already
I mean,
$9 in
We're
California.
almost $4 a gallon here.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah,
Well, it
they're
went up
saying-
10 cents overnight.
and
Well,
they're
not
saying
even
that
in the
there's
middle
a
of the day.
possibility that $5 average could happen by next year.
By next year, it's going to happen in 2 weeks.
this is 2008
Before
all over
Thanksgiving,
again.
it'll
Average,
be.
national average.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was in Texas this week, and almost everywhere it was around 289, somewhere around there.
Oh, wow.
But even that alone, how can anybody support that? How can anybody sit back and go, oh, this is a good thing?
If it's going to wean you off of gasoline, so that way you have to go and get an electric car.
And how much are
Do
electric
I have
cars gonna be?
$100,000 to buy an electric car?
Nobody's gonna be able to.
Well,
afford
right
it.
now you can't afford an electric car anyhow.
Right,
because
exactly.
There's
Exactly.
none, in the,
And-
there's
and
none in the
what's-
lots.
What's going to power the batteries when they die down?
The diesel generator. Didn't you see the meme?
And what's
What are you not?
Where
paying
have you
attention?
been? I thought you saw
The
this.
generators make it all work.
what's going to make the generators work?
I don't know. That's
The
details.
gasoline.
Stop. No. Gasoline doesn't do that. Gasoline powers the car, not the generator.
He's being sarcastic.
Hey, Nicholas, thanks for jumping on with us. What do you guys think of Sleepy Joe's new infrastructure bill?
I think it's an ass hat. I like your hat.
That's
Sorry.
That's Wendy's son.
His infrastructure
I like
bill
his hat.
reminds me.
Tell him about that. He loves that hat.
He loves that hat. I like that hat.
The infrastructure bill is kind of like Obamacare, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Speed it through and
Well,
Hope nobody reads
silly,
it.
And there's silly ass things in there.
It's what, like 14 billion pages or something ridiculous?
And what percent is going to actual
Infrastructure.
purpose? Yeah.
See, and therein lies part of the problem that we can't necessarily, because there is X amount of dollars going to roads, X amount of dollars going to wind and solar energy, X amount of dollars going to roads and bridges.
It's not going to matter.
You know,
when there's no
internet,
cars to
things
drive
like
on
that.
them.
But when they say that, it's the details that you can't understand, because in the transportation part, one of the things that is in the next is either 4 years or somewhere in the near future, they are requiring auto manufacturers to put something in every single new car.
To count the miles, right?
Nope.
Oh,
Even something more ridiculous than that. Literally in the infrastructure bill is that you have to blow into something and prove that you're not drunk to be able to drive your new car. Every single car.
yeah. So my 48 Dodge pickup truck is looking real fucking good right
Tell me
now,
about
isn't
it.
it? Don't worry, we're coming to pick you guys up on the way out. So
that's okay, because everybody's going to go to electric cars. There's going to be an EMP, and there's going to be no vehicles left.
except for mine,
Sorry,
Except for hers.
except for hers.
And
I'll pick y'all up.
Yeah, and unfortunately, my 1976 CJ will all of a sudden look really good.
Yeah,
That's true.
ours will be looking real nice, huh?
Well,
As you're going down the road like this.
Yeah, it's not the best vehicle right now. You're going anywhere more than a couple miles.
I think the point John was making, though, is that all this money allocated to all of these different parts of the bill really don't necessarily go to what you need, like to the roads themselves,
Right.
to the bridges themselves, to the tunnels.
99.9% of it doesn't.
And that's the problem with the whole thing. But it's not just, it's happened before, even with Republicans. It's happened before. They play with these bills. They mess around with it. They make promises and commitments to other factions, and the money never gets to where it's supposed to go. Why
I
are
am
we
shocked.
Why are we the richest country in the world, have bridges that are ready to fall down?
Right.
It's not very smart.
That's because we
Tunnels.
never put the money towards it.
You know, roads that have potholes in it as big as cars. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's because we're paying $450,000 per illegal immigrant coming
Mhm.
into
It's got to come
That could-
somewhere.
That could fix a lot of potholes.
Yes, it could.
Could fix a lot of potholes.
Yes, it could.
Oh, and we have racist roads now.
Yeah, I
We
still
could
haven't figured
pay
that one
them
out.
to fix the road.
Mark my words. I feel like Bongino right now. November 12th, 2021, 7:37 Arizona time.
In 53 seconds.
They are touting. All of a sudden, you see Buttigieg is out there all the time now. He is going to be the next candidate for the Democratic Party.
You
Oh,
see
boy.
who?
Buttigieg.
For president,
Yes,
Who?
he's the best option. And it
He-
sure is
Buddha Judge?
Buttigieg.
if he's an option, they're really in trouble.
That's their best option.
What the
He's their
fuck is a
best play.
Buddha Judge?
What's his name?
His name is Buddha Judge.
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 Buttigieg. You honestly don't hear about this?
She doesn't watch.
I don't watch
she
TV
pay attention
at all.
We're on a show that talks about it, but she never.
But
She
the
never
thing
gets
is,
Isn't it better though to see my reaction?
Mayor
Yes,
Pete.
it
Mayor
is.
Pete is the transportation secretary that took 3 months off for maternity leave.
Yeah.
Did they have a intervention too?
No.
Oh.
The Rome is burning, but you know,
But I mean, if they're doing something like that,
You
if-
can't.
they're desperate
so
enough.
she took 3 months off to have her baby.
no.
He
This is
took-
he's the dad.
he
He took.
He took 3 months.
What he
off.
push a?
We're not even going to tell her the other part.
No,
don't
Don't even tell
go
her
there.
the other part.
Don't go there.
It has nothing to do with it. The fact is that he did not give birth, so he took 3 months off to bond with the baby. Not
Are you
other.
going to tell me that he's a wiener sucker and his wife was a man too?
Well, I mean,
You're getting way
we just
off.
got back on the channel.
Sorry.
All right, we just lost another another platform.
There goes YouTube.
Anyway, getting back to what John said about the candidate,
You
as
get
president,
to take time off when your wife has a baby. I'm going to support that.
Yeah,
You don't need to take 3 months off. Suck it
No.
up, Buttercup.
No.
The first month, I'll give you 4 weeks.
that's
Okay.
what most people get.
Anyway, getting back to the presidential nomination of the Democratic Party.
I'm the only girl here today.
Why
so-
is it that they are not worried about 2024 if they're even considering something like that? Could it be that they think they'll have control over the
Oh my
election.
Lord, baby Jesus. Sorry, there's a comment coming up that you're going to need to put up there. It's that one right there.
Who?
They are worried about it. They're just not showing you
Ridiculous.
they're not worried about it.
I don't think they're worried about it because I think they have control.
A
over it.
year? You pushed a watermelon out your vagina. Have fun. You get 3 months off. You go back to work.
Who said that?
I wish I had sound effects on it.
I know, right?
You don't need a year off.
Are you reading it? Or are you saying
I'm reading it.
Oh,
It was a
okay.
comment.
That's all I
though.
asked. It was
Yeah.
a comment.
Yes, it was a
Okay, thank you.
comment.
All right. Well, enough with the maternity
Okay,
leave stuff.
sorry.
No, the point is, he is their best hope for presidential
Aspirations,
nomination.
Yeah.
I don't think
In
it's going to
2024.
matter. I don't think they're going to have any Democrats voting for them on their own.
You're wrong.
I think you're wrong too.
Who? Who's going to say we had Sleepy Joe? Let's pick another one.
The same 81
But
million that
now-
voted the last time.
Oh yeah,
now
they're dead.
they-
Sorry.
They would love. I mean, if
That's my point.
if Buttigieg was of color in some fashion, that would be even better. But right now, the fact that he's a young gay man works well to what they're trying to.
I knew it.
We don't want to read into that. though.
Sorry.
It has nothing to do with it, except for the fact that it's virtue signaling. That's the only thing.
Of course.
So that's what they're. That's why all of a sudden there's a. Is it Netflix has created some show, some special, some documentary about him now. All of a sudden is materialized. So he didn't have time to answer any of the emails from work during the 3 months he was off,
Right.
but he did have time to do a Netflix.
Do a Netflix show.
Yes,
Of course he did.
to do a Netflix documentary, a 2-hour documentary on his life, so that they can start. They're going to start hammering away that here's our next guy. This is the next show.
Jesus.
As they continue to push all this crap down our throats.
Yes.
Which I
Yes,
think
because
people are
the rest of
getting
it is
tired
all well. The rest of it. So you heard that Nancy is looking for her retirement home.
Yeah.
Did you hear where
I
it's
got one
at?
Florida.
Down in Florida.
Of
Yeah.
course it is.
Oh,
Of course it is.
yes.
They don't want it at all.
Yeah, because they don't have the homeless problem in Florida that they do in San
Or the high
Francisco.
taxes or
Right.
anything like
or the
that.
high
Exactly.
taxes. Yeah.
I doubt DeSantos is going
Yeah.
to let that hooker in.
I don't know. But I
I'll
mean,
find her a nice care home. You want me to be your caregiver?
In New York.
In New York.
I don't care where it is. I'll go work for that place.
I don't know. Can New York get any worse than it is right now?
No, but let her be in a nursing home in New
Yeah,
York.
exactly. Yeah.
she deserves that.
All right.
All right.
Put her in
now-
a nursing home with Sleepy
you know what
Joe.
we need a hooker of the week right now.
Oh, do we?
Oh, shit. My computer I had to redo. Not ready.
We'll talk while you're waiting.
Yes.
Anyway, getting back to Peter.
Mayor Pete.
Yeah, Mayor Pete. I mean, this has nothing to do with sexual preference or anything like that, because that's not me.
Nothing to matters.
No,
I don't care where you
my
stick
point
it.
is that there'll be somebody that says something about that. But if you ever listen to the man speak and what he has to say, and you want to make him your next presidential nomination, it's like Joe Biden all over again, but a younger version.
It is. The man is very gifted at being able to spend 5 minutes, him and Han, talking about different things and never actually giving you an answer.
Never gets to a
Yeah,
point.
exactly. He never gives you an answer. But I can't believe you can punch me after I say this. I actually believe there are some people in the Democratic Party that would make better candidates for president. I could think of one right now. But the point is,
Give it up. I'm just making my prediction. I'm saying that Mayor Pete's going to be the next
well, the one
Democratic
that I think is
presidential
good
nomination.
for a Democrat, again, I'll qualify it for a Democrat. She's no longer in office. It's Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, she's no longer in office.
Right. I said that, but she's the one that would certainly be more qualified than him.
Tulsi's actually pretty good. She's very moderate. So
She's sensible. She looks at things not from a political standpoint, but from an overall standpoint, how it affects Americans and what it's going to do.
yeah,
for the
she is an
country.
old school Democrat.
Exactly. She'd be somebody that could be a
She
challenge.
is. She is what I like to call. Wendy disagrees with me on this, but she is probably one I like to call an old JFK Democrat.
Yes, that's a very good way of
Okay.
putting it. I agree with that. 100%. Yep.
Interesting.
Because I keep saying to Wendy that if whoever the next president wanted to extend an olive branch to try and bring the country together, they need to address the JFK Democrats.
Yeah.
Those are what I think, at least
Is there any left?
I was just going to ask that question.
In my humble opinion, I think those are the independents today.
Yeah. Could be, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
most I wouldn't say all the independents, but a large number of them.
Or the libertarians, maybe. I don't know.
And some of the
Well, see, the libertarians are kind of more right-leaning than left-leaning.
Yes, they are.
Because
They're
Reagan used to
protectors
say
of the
that he was a
Constitution.
libertarian.
Yes, they're protectors of the Constitution. There's not too many Democrats that are, but I think any remaining JFK Democrats, if there are, would help their party to get back to the middle where they belong. But I don't think that's going to happen because I don't think there's enough of them there. I really don't. I think the party's been taken over totally by the left, and it's never coming back.
We ready?
I'm ready.
We need something fun.
Yeah, it's getting too serious now.
It's getting way too serious. And he wanted me to punch him, and I'm not going to.
All right, here's Hooker of the Week.
I still like how it shimmies.
And the big winner for a second time. right?
Third, second,
Is it
third.
third time? I thought we only did it once.
Oh no, what's her name got twice. So now
Right.
we're two at twice
So it is Miss AOC.
Woohoo!
with the diaper on her face. That's a good picture.
That's an interesting. It's got a crease in it too. Look at that.
She's like creepy looking. Look
What
at
if
her
she
eyes. What
irons
the
it?
hell is she doing?
Why
Is
is
that
she
where
the
she-
hooker of the week? What qualifies her for hooker of the week?
The woke problem,
There's a woke problem.
apparently.
And her experience.
Well, hey, just because people were hookers in a past life doesn't mean that we judge them for that, Dad.
No pressure.
I just said experience.
I know.
That's all I said.
So this was, let's get a date on this. This was 4 days ago. 4 days ago, there was a woke problem. So while many progressives are starting to retreat from wokedness, need a definition on that. In the wake of the Republican victories in Virginia, AOC cautioned her colleagues against letting that term distract them from distancing themselves from the radical justice issues.
Radical justice issues.
Wow.
Yep. So in her tweet, I'm going to get on Twitter just to fight with this hooker. One dangerous aspect of thinking there's a woke problem is that Dem chances for re-election or majorities in House, Senate, and White House rely on the radical justice issue of voting rights. Dems distancing from radical justice makes protection of voting rights less likely, ensuring losses.
So what does she mean by that?
So is that her saying that if we really take these racial issues that they're talking about, they're going to lose votes?
Yes, that's what she's saying. So in other words, it's racist to demand a driver's license when you present yourself at a voting booth.
It's also racist to assume that those people can't get driver's licenses
Exactly.
or IDs.
Exactly. And they do have them. They do have them.
By the
Everybody
way,
has them.
By the way, Michael, a wok is what you use to cook Chinese food.
WOKE is their woke.
Just kidding.
Such an ass.
I know, I am. It was funny. It was,
It was
it was a
funny,
good
though.
opportunity.
That's very true.
It was a good opportunity. So what is woke in a sense? Is it that?
Okay.
Explain woke.
Ocasio-Cortez rejected the term woke as a word used by critics to try and demonize their agenda.
But it was the
So it's-
left that came up with the phrase.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Well, now
So
she made a statement
over the
in there.
weekend, she also claimed that the term is almost exclusively used by older people.
Mm.
Woke is a term pundits are now using as a derogatory euphemism for civil rights and justice.
So isn't it funny how now they're turning the tides on woke, right? They, like
I
you
thought
said,
they were woke.
they created it, right? And now they're turning it.
But this is also the party that sits there. There are a lot of the people in this that are the extreme left that are constantly changing the story. It was also a handful of months ago they were all of these people that sat there and said, defund the police, defund the police, defund the police last year. And then they said, well, I never said that. That was the Republican Party that said that. So, again, but we left nobody behind in Afghanistan.
Right.
Nope.
Exactly. And they have also
We also didn't give away any of our equipment or anything.
yeah. But they're also the party that is so big on playing the race card and screaming that every time you disagree with them, you're a racist. It's the same party. It's the same party that fails to tell everybody that up to the middle of the 1960s, they were pro-slavery. They were pro everything.
Where's
everything
my?
That was against helping
Oh,
African
my
Americans.
meme I sent you.
We played that last week. We did that meme.
I know, it was a good meme though.
Did you see the sound clip of Biden from like 2009 or something like that when he was running for president?
Yes.
Where he sits there and he sits there and he talks about if he shut down the war automatically today, if he was president, shut down the war in Afghanistan today, that it would take a year to pull the troops out.
Right.
And if he just left all the equipment behind, it would still take 7 months to do. And we would create this huge problem to where our grandkids would have to worry about terrorism.
Oh, I remember seeing that.
Yep.
Yeah, they've been playing.
They got it
And
on
he was
video.
what, 40?
You saw this?
I did.
They've been playing it all week, that video.
But where did Lindsay see it?
I have a good definition for woke.
On Facebook.
What's that?
Born again liberal.
No, it's remember how they had a hard time with Obama saying radical Islam?
Yeah.
That's now woke for the extreme leftists.
Is it though?
Yeah, that's at least the way I.
Let's see what Google
Okay.
says.
I don't know.
Oh, it's definitely extreme
Google
left.
will probably say it's a normal person.
It'll say it's racist. Don't
Who lives
talk
in
about
Virginia?
Loudoun County.
Loudoun County, exactly.
it. Ooh, this is interesting.
All right, we'll get on because Dad's.
Hold
gotta get
on, this
his
is
thing.
interesting.
Okay, well,
So definition of woke, verb, past of wake, so like you were woken up. Adjective, alert to injustice in society, especially racism.
That just got added, probably.
That's interesting.
Is that
We
Webster?
need to stay angry and stay woke.
Of
so
course.
now I heard on the radio on the drive over here today that I guess now there's a whole new set of things that are now racist, including
Pancakes, syrup,
milk was one of them.
rice.
Because it's white.
I didn't catch why. I don't
Oh,
know.
milk?
that
I
seems
don't know
like,
why
that
milk
seems like
is.
that's the obvious, but it had.
They already took away butter.
They were saying that McDonald's and Burger King are racist now. They're saying it was a whole slew of things. So it's like, really? I mean, you're finding it now in everything possible. If you go looking for it, you'll find it.
But it's a safe card for them to play because
For real.
everybody's afraid to come back at them. It's a safe card to play. Just call me a racist and I shut up. That's the problem.
Exactly.
We have to talk up and say enough is enough.
Yeah, then I usually just stick apple after him.
All right. So
You really don't want that family after
What was
you.
our topic for the week?
it's
supposed to be
it's
veterans.
supposed to be
Veterans,
veterans. So
crap.
let's get back into that because I think Dad's got a good segment on veterans.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Did
it's
we get him spun up enough?
I think we did.
it's difficult
Breaking
to
that-
follow up on all of this because this is an interesting conversation.
This is our
But we do want to get
normal
back
shows.
to celebrate Veterans Day
Yes.
and for the brave men and women that have sacrificed in the past and are still doing it today, contrary to what a lot of people think on the left. So I'm going to go through. I went through the files looking for some Medal of Honor winners over the years. I didn't realize that there was over 3,000 of them, and I started back in the Civil War because that's when the original.
So what is a Medal of Honor winner?
It's the highest award you can give a military person for bravery and above the call of duty, above and beyond the call of duty. It mostly relates to sacrificing one's life or almost sacrificing one's life to save another person or another group.
So what does somebody have to do to be able to get the Medal of Honor?
Well, exactly what I said. They have to be in a situation where they decide to put their own life at risk to save a unit, an individual, or themselves to help others that are in the same situation with them. Now, originally, when they first awarded the Medal of Honor in the Civil War, that wasn't the case. When it first came out, it was almost anything you did in a humane way to help others during the war. Could it be a nurse? It could be a doctor. It
Well,
could
that's
be
cool.
it could be any number of things. It didn't necessarily mean you had to give up your life or almost give up your life. But it has come down to that now where you need to prove that you actually have put yourself in a situation where you could have died. And as John said before to me, you need at least 2 witnesses to the event in order to even be considered for it.
Well,
Back then, you
isn't
didn't.
going to war pretty much that?
No, it's
No.
situational. Every situation in war is
Right.
different. And the situation has to come up where you go above and beyond. And when I start talking about these 8 people that I picked out, and I read a little bit about their citations, you'll understand a little better.
Okay.
But I tried to be as fair as I could with this because there were so many amazing men involved in this and a woman that I couldn't believe what some of them did. But I didn't just go for the act itself. I went for
Yeah.
the person and the situation, and I tried to be as diverse as I could because regardless of what the left says, we have a diverse country and we have people of every race and creed that have fought for this country over the years.
Yep.
And so I recognized them all in here. I tried to be as fair as I could. But like I said, time is a kind of limited too. So I'm going to go over the 8 that I have. And I'm sure John's going to zing me with a few.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, before you start, I was going to say, well, Lindsay's comment about isn't just going to war. That's kind of the mentality of today, where everyone wins a trophy, and it's not. They didn't just hand these things out.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's this, like, you're putting your life on the line, you're going to war. You know that you're putting your life on the line.
That's what you sign up for, though, when you join the military.
But now you're talking about the possibility, the instant where you can get with it.
So the imminent danger, essentially.
I'm talking about when it happens and you make a decision.
Right.
I'm sure
so running towards the flames instead of running away.
And I'm sure there's people that ran away too. I'd probably be one.
A majority of Medal of Honor winners actually get awarded meritoriously.
Yes, posthumously.
Or posthumously.
Right. So anyway, I'm going to go through these. If I can get my glasses on here without, wasn't too much problem there. Okay, there we go. Can you still hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Can you still hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
That's important. All right. So I'm going to start with the Civil War. Like I said, that's when the first ones are given out. Now, this gentleman here did not win the first one. Okay. The first one went to another soldier, a corporal. But I want to go with this guy because for 2 reasons. One, more people might be familiar with this man, and he has a great story. So his name was William Harvey Carney. He was born February 29th, 1840, and he died December 9th, 1908. He was an American soldier during the American Civil War. Born as a slave, he was awarded the Medal of Honor in 1900 for his gallantry in saving the regiment colors, the American flag, during the Battle of Fort Wagner in 1863. Now, if anybody's seen the movie Glory with Morgan Freeman and Denzel Washington, I think the story is about that. What happened on there? The Union attack an all-colored regiment from 54th Massachusetts, I believe. It was an all African-American unit, and they were asked to take this fort back. And there had been many attempts, and they all failed at the high cost of a lot of casualties. So they were asked to take this fort. And when they did it, it was a mess. It was a mess. It was a massacre. But he was involved in this where the colored sergeant was shot down, and I'm quoting this. I don't know if they mean the guy that was carrying the colors or an African American. So I'm going to be careful with that. But the sergeant was shot down. So William Carney grabbed the flag and led the way to the parapet and planted the colors thereon. When the troops fell back, he brought off the flag under a fierce fire, in which twice he was severely wounded. And I don't mean grazes on the shoulder. I mean, I think he got one in the neck and one in the chest somewhere. And so he was pretty much in serious condition. But he managed to bring the flag back with him. Now, people might say, well, what does that really mean? It's just a flag. But it wasn't just the flag to these men.
No.
This was their flag. This was them doing their job. And the last thing they wanted to see was that flag touch the ground. And he did what he had to do for that. And that's why he was awarded it. In the movie, you don't really see him because it's about the other characters. But if you look closely at the movie, when Denzel Washington falls after him, he himself was carrying the flag after picking it up from another wounded guy. When Denzel fell to the ground, he was the sergeant that picked it up. and went forward with it. So his name is William Harvey Carvey, and he was the first African American to win that award.
That's cool.
My second person I want to talk about was a civilian in the Civil War. It was the only woman, to my knowledge, and I'm still looking. John's
That's all I know.
Okay, is that she's the only woman to win Medal of Honor.
That's cool.
Up till now. That's going to change now because women are in combat now.
Yeah.
And that's going to change fast. But anyway, her name was Mary Edwards Walker. She was a doctor. She was born November 26, 1832. She died February 21st, 1919. She was captured by Confederate forces after crossing enemy lines to treat wounded civilians and arrested as a spy. And actually, I looked into her a little bit more, and in actuality, she was spying.
Was she?
But she was also a doctor first.
Okay.
She was sent as a prisoner of war to Richmond, Virginia, until released in a prisoner exchange. After the war, she was approved for the Medal of Honor for her efforts to treat the wounded during the Civil War. Notably, the award was not expressly given for gallantry in action at that time, and in fact, was the only military decoration during the Civil War. In other words, that's the only decoration you could get.
Right.
So that's why a lot more were given out. The rules changed drastically after that. But during that time, and I'm not making light of the award.
Yeah.
A lot of people deserved it. They got it.
That's cool.
So Walker is the only woman to receive the medal and one of 8 civilians to receive it. I think you said Buffalo Bill Cody got it too, right?
He actually he got it, and then he actually had it stripped away from him.
Yeah.
Really?
So anyway, her name was deleted from the Medal
That's
of
mean.
Honor roll in 1917, along with 9 other male recipients. Bill Cody included, Buffalo Bill.
Yes.
That was included in it. But they did get it back, and it was restored in 1977 by Jimmy Carter. I thought that was interesting, being the only woman, and she wasn't actually a combatant, but
That's cool.
what she did certainly deserved recognition.
Yeah.
And
Who's
like
the
I say,
youngest Medal of Honor winner?
I think it was Audie Murphy, but I'm not sure.
How young was he?
20,
No,
19?
no.
What?
There's actually a 13-year-old.
What?
That I didn't
Really?
know. That I didn't know.
So
Was he actually in the military?
he was during the Civil War.
Oh, the Civil War.
Youngest
Okay.
recipient of an award was only 13 years old. He was actually a drummer.
Wow, really?
That makes sense.
Really?
So there is controversy about to say that, under modern terms, you have to be a combatant.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so that they say that technically the youngest would be 17, Jack Lucas, who had jumped over 2 grenades to save comrades, owing to the fact that he was serving in combat. So at one point,
Right.
some of them do say that he is the youngest, but under the old rules at the time of the Civil War, the youngest technically that has been awarded the honor has been 13 years old.
And,
Wow.
and again,
crazy.
not taking away from the Civil War, because it was a bloody, brutal war, and not taking away from the medals that were won in that war. I mean, just the fact that a 13-year-old was marching, step for
It's
step,
crazy.
Right in the middle
with
of
the
it.
soldiers.
Yeah.
He deserves the medal anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a good point. Thank you, John. I didn't know that. I thought it was Audie Murphy. I think he was 19 when he won it. So anyway, we're going to go to World War I and the Navy. You'll like to hear this.
Woohoo! Finally, the
All
Navy.
right, finally.
Who was the first
The
service
Navy.
what was the first service that finally accepted the Medal of Honor as an award?
Wow. Who's the first service that actually accepted it as an award? You mean where they were willingly giving it out?
No, when it
themselves?
was first announced by the president that they
Who
were
was the
gonna
first one
this,
to do it?
Which branch of service said that they would accept that?
I'm going to say the Navy.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course it was. He was way too excited about that for
Yeah,
it
way-
not to
way
be the
too easy.
Navy.
It was way too easy.
Okay. So anyway, the gentleman we're talking about, his name was Whedon Edward Osborne. He was born November 13th, 1892, and he died June 6th, 1918. Well, that's just before my mom was born. Okay. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty while attached to the 5th Regiment United States Marines, that tells you what he was, right?
Yes.
Automatically. In actual conflict with the enemy and under fire during the advance on I believe it's Bourges, France, on June 6th, 1918, which is a little odd too. June 6th rings a bell with people for D-Day invasion, 1944. So this was June 6th, 1918. In the hottest of the fighting, when the Marines made their famous advance on Baruch at the southern edge of Belleau Wood, which is another famous battle, very bloody battle in the First World War. Belleau Woods probably was the bloodiest. I lost my place here, but give me a break here. All right.
How many Medal of Honor winners are buried at Arlington National Cemetery?
A lot.
Over 400.
Wow.
Wow.
Lieutenant Osborne threw himself zealously into the work of rescuing the wounded. Extremely courageous in the performance of this perilous task, he was killed while carrying a wounded officer to a place of safety. By his exceptional fortitude, inspiring initiative, and selfish devotion to duty, Lieutenant Osborne reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. His gallantry gave his life. His gallantry gave his life for his country. Obviously, you have to read into this and know that he was a corpsman, a naval corpsman that was sent into battle to save lives. The hardest job in the world is a corpsman and a medic. No doubt about it. I mean, those guys go in with no weapons, nothing to protect them, and they're there under fire, under extreme fire most of the time, and they still do their job. It's amazing. I saw what happened at D-Day with these medics and corpsmen. I saw the Iwo Jima. I don't mean personally. I mean through documentary films.
You're not that old?
No, I was a baby then. Let's not get into that. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna go.
What U.S. president was a Medal of Honor winner?
Teddy Roosevelt.
There you go.
See, I'm just like Wikipedia, but you've been throwing some good ones out.
I'm working on it. I'm trying.
You getting me?
I'm trying here.
Trying to sidetrack it.
You getting me?
So
I know you're distracting him.
what
He's
is
got
it- what is
he's
a
not even
unique-
halfway through.
What is a unique feature? Let me quiz you on here. What is a unique feature in the military? It's not a requirement, but is a sign of respect to Medal of Honor winners throughout the entire military, all the way up to and including the president.
Is
you
it a
salute
gesture or is it a?
It's a gesture.
Yeah, you salute them when they're there.
So they're saluted.
Yes.
Even the president.
Yes.
It's customary for
Absolutely.
the president to salute a Medal of Honor winner who is wearing their Medal of Honor. So those that don't know what it looks like, it's a blue. Now there's actually 3 different types of medals for the 3 services.
Right.
The Marines are considered the same as the Navies.
Right.
And so I'm assuming that probably Space Force, since they don't have anybody yet, is probably going to be the same as the Air Forces.
Yeah, that would be my guess too. That the Army,
but that the even officers who outrank the recipient up to the president would,
saluting the president. Right.
So it's a blue. It's
As
a
it
big
should
blue.
be.
Yeah, it's a big blue collar, and then it's
a beautiful medal. Yeah.
So, but it hangs around your neck, and so if they're wearing it, then everybody typically would salute.
And it says a lot. I mean, when you see that, you kind of get a lump in your throat. I saw one guy wearing it, and it gave me a lump in my throat and a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
But, sometimes they even go as far as if they're with their wife, when it's happening, they salute the wife too.
And do you know that they also get extra pay, and they are allowed to be able to fly for free around the country?
I think it's
Really?
Hell yes.
That's cool.
That's
I think
awesome.
for life.
I think it's
That's
2
awesome.
pay scales above their whatever their pay scale is at the time.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, as it should be.
Heck yeah.
Thank you, John. Let's go to World War II now. The Marines. Okay, this one I'm sure a lot of people have heard this name because he used to have a TV show called. Boy, I can't think of it.
I Dream of Jeannie.
No.
Just-
something with little lambs or something. I can't think of.
Baba Black Sheep.
Bob, thank you, John.
I'm here to help. I'm
That
here
was
to
a
help.
show?
Dan.
Yeah, that was a show.
That was a show?
It was in the 60s. Yeah,
No, it's in the 70s.
70s. Robbie Conrad.
Why
right?
would you think that I would know that in the 70s?
I don't
We
know.
are so going to show you the first
Oh,
episode.
Lord.
Why would John know that? He's just as young as you.
No.
That's cute.
I'm trying to help you. Anyway, let's go to World
You're
War
gonna make Keith
II.
spit out his coffee.
We're going to go to World War II, Marines. Gregory Pappy Boyington, born December 4th, 1912, died January 11th, 1988. He
Yes,
was
that's
a
how he
Sioux, Indian, and Irish heritage. And by the way, while we're talking about diversity, there's many Native Americans, well, several Native Americans that have won the award.
That's awesome.
I think one or two from the Wintalk, because the Navajo Indians
That's cool.
were included in that. Anyway, this citation reads, for extraordinary heroism above and beyond the call of duty as a commanding officer of a Marine Fighting Squadron 214 in action against the enemy, Japanese forces in Central Solomon's area from September 12, 1943 to January 3rd, 1944, consistently outnumbered throughout successive hazardous flights over heavily defended hostile territory. Major Boyington struck the enemy with daring and courageous persistence, leading his squadron into combat with devastating results to the Japanese shipping, shore installations, and aerial forces. Now, John could add to this because he knows a little bit more about the personality of this guy.
I just love the sneer on Pappy Boyington.
I love that look on his face.
Yeah, he looks like
It's
a
my
Marine,
kinda-
doesn't he? Yeah, he looks like he's a Marine.
It's my kind of look.
Yeah.
He was a shifty character, actually.
He's
he
thinking,
was.
what the fuck?
It's got that curved lip, you know.
He's
Yeah.
he's claimed to have shot down more than has actually been accredited to him, and
Yes.
he's gone to court over that
Really?
multiple times. Yeah, because you have to have somebody to have verified that you shot down
Right,
aircraft
yes,
back in World War II, and so there's a lot more that he claimed than what actually. But the guy's actually got a pretty impressive record. He actually went to Europe and flew with Flying Tigers for a short period of time.
That's true.
Got injured, had to get himself out of Europe and back to the United States when the United States entered the war. And then, you know, as the TV show that will show Lindsay, he became the commanding officer of a Marine squadron and ended up being, I think, if they were not the most decorated squadron in the Marine Corps, they definitely shot down the most aircraft.
They were definitely credited with the most kills
kills
Yeah.
in
That's
World War
cool.
II as a Marine squadron.
That's true.
It's an incredible thing. They actually were pretty.
But he was successful because he never followed the rules the way they were
Yeah,
supposed
he was a little bit of a rule breaker.
to. Absolutely.
What, did you see the look on his face? That's why.
He was a maverick, huh?
He was very much a
He
man.
was a maverick.
Very successful maverick for us anyway. Not so much for the enemy. All right, so we're going to go to another one from World War II. Now, this gentleman, I have a personal interest in because I think he was a fantastic man. If you ever saw the miniseries on TV called The Pacific, it's a 6-part series, I believe, about the Marines and the Army in the Pacific during Second World War, fighting the Japanese.
See, now he doesn't look like he's up to no good at all.
No, we'll talk about this guy, and he's an amazing guy. He married a Marine. He actually married a Marine.
Okay.
And they weren't married a very long time. But anyway, John Barcelona was born November 4th, 1916, and he died February 19th, 1945. That's an important date.
Yeah.
He won his award, his Medal of Honor on Guadalcanal. Now, this is the only guy that did this. There's another guy, and I can't think of his name. I believe his last name was Diamond. I'm not sure, but
Like Neil?
yeah, like
Who?
Neil, but it wasn't Neil. But anyway, he did similar to what John did. But here's what John did. On October 24th, 1942, during the Battle of Henderson Field at Guadalcanal, his unit came under attack by a regiment of about 3,000 soldiers from the Japanese Sendai Division, using machine guns, grenades, and mortars against the American heavy machine guns. That's a lot going against just machine guns.
Mm-hmm.
Barcelona commanded 2 sections of machine guns, which fought for the next 2 days until only Barcelona and 2 other Marines were left standing. As the battle went on, ammunition became critically low. Despite their supply lines having been cut off by enemies who infiltrated into the rear, Barcelona fought through hostile ground to resupply his heavy machine gunners with urgently needed supply. What we mean here is that the Japanese had overrun them in 3 directions from behind. So he had to go through enemy lines to get back to his lines to get the ammunition.
And then come back
He
through.
fought his way through and he fought his way back, but all while he had 3rd-degree burns on his hands, because what he did back in those days, a machine gun was water cooled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And if you over
Used
used it,
it.
the
Fire
barrel
it
heated up and you couldn't use it until it cooled down. He picked up the barrel to move the machine gun while it was burning hot. And he totally burned both his hands. with third-degree burns, and he still went back, still got the more ammunition, still came back and gave it to the other two men. Anyway,
back when men were men.
yeah,
I was gonna say at a point there, adrenaline had to just be going.
Oh yeah,
nuts.
absolutely,
I mean,
yeah, sure.
You know.
Well, this guy's an amazing guy, but anyway, Barcelona moved an extra gun into position to maintain continual fire against an incoming Japanese force. He then repaired and manned another machine gun, holding the defensive line until relief finally arrived. When the last of the ammunition ran out shortly before dawn on the second day, Barcelona, using his pistol and a machete, held off the Japanese soldiers attacking his position. By the end of the engagement, Japanese forces opposite the Marine lines had been virtually annihilated. For his action during the battle, Barcelona received the United States military highest award for valor, Medal of Honor. But it doesn't end there. After the battle was over, he was sent to the hospital to get treated for his burns and everything. And they sent him back to the U.S. to become a drill instructor because they didn't want him in combat anymore.
Right.
And he wasn't happy about that. So he pushed and pushed until they finally agreed to allow him to go back into combat. Meantime, he had married another woman. I believe he was a corporal in the Marine Corps, and they only been married a couple of months when he was shipped out again.
Yeah.
And guess where he got shipped to, John?
I don't know.
Iwo Jima. Now everybody's heard of Iwo Jima.
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen the statue in Washington D.C., and I think it's one in the Marine headquarters also of the 4 Marines raising the flag from Iwo Jima. Well, he went there.
3 Marines.
4.
One's a corpsman.
Oh, okay.
Wow, he had to get in there, didn't he?
He's right.
It's accurate. I'm just being accurate.
No, you're right. He is accurate. But
Of course he is. He couldn't be forgotten about.
4 brave military raised the flag on Iwo Jima. But anyway, so he was in the first wave when they landed on Iwo Jima under heavy fire. And he made his way through, leading his men, because he was still a sergeant, leading his men until he got shot and killed.
Wow.
So he won the Silver Star for that. Now, you don't get much more daring than that.
No.
I mean, this guy gave it all, and he loved this country. He came from an Italian family, very respectful family. I believe 2 other brothers joined the Marine Corps in honor of him. It's a touching story if you read the whole thing.
That's cool.
This is what it's all about.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm not going to get into that right now, but I'll close with that.
Why not? Why not? Why not?
No,
Get into that.
I got that.
About when men were men.
He's got 3
He's
other
got
people.
3 more to go through.
I want to get through these guys, and then we'll talk
Then
about
we'll get into
Then
it.
I'll give you some ammunition.
Okay. All right.
All right. So anyway, let's go to the Korean War. Okay. I was in Korea, but I got lucky. I didn't get there till after the war. But the Korean War, Charles Haywood Barker, born April 12th, 1935, died June 4th, 1953. PFC Barker, a member of Company K, distinguished himself by conspicuous gallantry and indomitable courage beyond the call of duty in action against the enemy. You notice how it always reads that way?
Yep.
While participating in a combat patrol, engaged in screening an approach to Pork Chop Outpost. Did anybody ever see the movie Pork Chop Hill?
Pork Chop Hill. Yep.
With Gregory Peck? That's what they're talking about. Anyway, PFC Barker and his companions surprised and engaged an enemy group digging emplacements on the slope. After ordering PFC Barker and a comrade to lay down the basic fire, the patrol leader maneuvered the remainder of the platoon to a vantage point on higher ground. PFC Barker moved to an open area, firing a rifle and hurling grenades on the hostile positions. As enemy action increased in volume and intensity, mortar bursts fell on friendly positions, meaning there was friendly fire, killing their own people, which happened more than people like to know. Ammunition was in critical supply, and the platoon was ordered to withdraw into a perimeter defense preparatory to moving back to the outposts. Voluntarily electing to cover the retrograde movement, he gallantly maintained the defense and was last seen in close hand-to-hand combat with the enemy. PFC Barker unflinchingly courage, consummate devotion to duty, and supreme sacrifice enabled the patrol to complete the mission and effect an orderly withdrawal to the friendly lines, reflecting lasting glory upon himself and upholding the highest traditions of the military service. This is what people do when they care about their country. This is what people do who love their country and care about the men they're fighting with. In this case, now today we say men and women who are fighting. They care about each other. They take care of
Americans.
Americans.
We'll just call it patriotic Americans.
Exactly.
I mean, and to go to somebody who's not even a Medal of Honor winner, but to point out, going back to Veterans Day and all that. Let's think about Pat Tillman as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Great example.
The guy he
gave up his NFL career.
Gave up a $3+ million contract to be able to play professional football.
For who? And that was just for what? 2 years?
He had played, I think, 2 years.
He was in his third year. Yeah.
And he was on his third, and he was going to be renewed.
Gave it up to go join the Army with his brother. Became a Ranger. They both became Rangers, and was killed by
that I remember.
I forget how, but he wasn't. I mean, they were riding in vehicles, and I want to say
explosion.
I think it was an
IED. Yeah.
Something, yeah.
So, but yeah, somebody that gave up. He cared so much about 9/11 and what it meant. Their father was at Pearl Harbor in World War II, and so that stuck to him that he needed to do something.
He did it for love of country. That's what he did it for, like everybody else. And no questions asked. This is what I need to do. And he did it.
Gave up. So, I mean, let's talk about sacrifices, and it's not about the money. But the idea is the fact that
he gave up a very nice lifestyle
to be able to go and be able to have the honor just to be able to do what he thought was right.
And he paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Well said, John. It's a good point.
And that's why there is a lovely statue of him outside of our stadium.
As there should be.
That's patriotism to the best. I mean, you can't get any better than that. Anyway, we're going to go to Vietnam. We're going back to the Marines again.
It's always the Marines.
Okay. Oscar Palmer, Austin.
I love the Marines.
January 15th, 1948, February 23rd, 1969. This is Vietnam now, the most unpopular war we ever had as far as the military goes. They were so disrespected and so looked negatively on when they came back. It was disgusting. I was a cop then, and I saw how they treated them when they got off the planes and the demonstrations.
Sad.
And throwing the dog crap at them and spitting at them. I mean, it just
like they had a choice.
It was just terrible. But anyway, I don't want to digress. All right. Oscar Palmer Austin, like I said, born January 15, 1948, died February 23rd, 1969. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty while serving as an assistant machine gunner. Well, it seems like machine gunners get it, don't they? With the Company F, 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines, 1st Marine Division, in connection with operations against enemy forces in the Republic of Vietnam. Why is it that the Marine Corps, you would know being in the Navy, why do they have such a long list of titles for a division? The
like
company, the battalion, the Marines 1st Marine Division. That's a lot.
It's a lot. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway,
I'll tell you a funny story about that one.
The Marines just guarded my plane. That's all I know.
Okay. Well, and they did a good job, right?
Yes.
That's all. During the early morning hours of February 23rd, 1969, Private First Class Austin Observation Post was subjected to fierce ground attack by a large North Vietnamese army, supported by a heavy volume of hand grenades, satchel charges, and small arms fire. Observing that one of his wounded companions had fallen unconscious in a position dangerously exposing to a hostile fire, Private First Class Austin unhesitatingly left the relative security of his fighting hole with complete disregard for his own safety, raced across the fire-swept terrain to assist the Marine to a covered location. As he neared the casualty, he observed an enemy grenade land nearby and reacted instantly, leaping between the injured Marine and the lethal object, absorbing the effect of its detonation. As he ignored the painful injuries and turned to examine the wounded man, now he's wounded himself, he's turning to examine the wounded man, he saw a North Vietnamese army soldier aiming a weapon at his unconscious companion. With full knowledge of the probable consequences and thinking only to protect the Marine, Private First Class Austin resolutely threw himself between the casualty and the hostile soldier, and in doing so was mortally wounded. Private First Class Austin's courage, inspiring initiative, and selfish devotion to uphold the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life for his country. Now, that's just words until you think about what he really did.
Right. Right.
I mean, he put himself at risk twice for this other Marine who he probably didn't even know.
Didn't even know.
Well, the thing is that some people just fail to realize the gravity of what's going on. These are not conscious thoughts.
No, they're not.
These are reactions.
These are
Right. These are
reactions.
instincts.
Trained
They are
reactions.
just doing.
you don't
what
have
they,
time to think.
They are not thinking. They are just doing what they know instinctively is what is right and wrong.
That's the way they were trained. Right. Exactly. Right. But you could be trained all you want and you could be taught how to do it, but you still have to have it in here.
Yeah.
And this
Get
is
that
why
heart.
we mentioned it weeks ago, and something was said about everybody should serve.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, some countries have it where you have to serve military service for a minimum of 2 years.
Right.
Yep.
And I vehemently oppose that because the military brings in its share of dirt bags as it is.
Yep.
They don't need any help.
And so they don't need to make that number bigger. There's enough that enlist or join the military for all the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
People fail to realize that every generation has a war.
Right.
Every generation has some kind of
Some worse than
some
others,
kind of
but
conflict.
You're right.
And so that it is, chances are more likely that somehow some element of the military will go and get into some kind of a conflict than not.
Right.
During a general enlistment. And that if you're joining and thinking that you're going to be just a conscientious observer and just, ride it out and get free college and all that kind of good stuff, you're joining for all the wrong reasons. So these guys are doing this stuff and they're doing what they just
This
know
is their
to
heart.
they're trying to protect their brothers in arms.
Right. Right.
That's true. Exactly what it is. Anyway, we're going to talk about the Afghanistan Air Force. Yeah. Okay.
We had to finish on Air Force, didn't we?
Yeah. Afghanistan war. And we're going to celebrate an Air Force gentleman. John Allen Chapman, July 4th, 1965, died March 4th, 2002. Sergeant Chapman engaged and killed 2 enemy personnel. He continued to advance, reaching the enemy's position that engaged the second enemy position, a dug-in machine gun nest, and it goes machine gun nest again. At this time, the rescue team came under effective enemy fire from 3 directions. From close range, he exchanged fire with the enemy for minimum personal covers until he succumbed to multiple wounds. His engagement and destruction of the first enemy position and investment onto the second position enabled his team to move, cover, and break enemy contact. In other words, his Navy Sea Air Land Team Commander credits Sergeant Chapman unequivocally with saving the lives of the entire rescue team.
Wow.
This guy a PJ or was he a controller?
Just that he was a sergeant. It doesn't really.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it doesn't get into that here. I mean, it may have gone further in it, but I try to keep these a little bit short.
When was he born again?
July 4th.
1914.
Oh, I think it's July 4th.
July 14th, 1965.
So can I just get it? So I feel like I just want to wear my uniform and I'm going to just go and throw on a Medal of Honor. Can I do that?
No.
You can if you want to get your ass kicked.
Actually, it's illegal.
Well, yeah, of course it's illegal, but I mean,
you can say
I wouldn't walk into every room with other guys and then find out that you didn't really win it.
So you can say that you are a Medal of Honor winner, but it actually is physically against the law to wear one or receive any kind of benefit.
Thank God for that.
From it.
Yeah, if you say that you are, and
as you should be, I'd throw punch you.
Even if you were to like get a free lunch or a beer, you could technically go to jail.
Interesting.
And that would be good. That's called a stolen valor.
Kick your ass.
Stolen valor.
Yeah.
So just let everybody know
right.
we are going to go over a little bit tonight because we.
Well, I'm almost done.
We don't have a choice because we still have to get into stuff. So.
Okay. So anyway, let me just hurry up with this and we'll get it done. But there's many other, like I said, there's over 3,465 Medal of Honor winners. Okay. And it's amazing. I mean, 618 were awarded posthumously.
Yep.
That's a lot. Perhaps those Americans who choose to kneel during our national anthem and those who show no signs of respect for our military might want to consider the true cost of freedom. Yep. It's not about politics.
They have no clue about it, though.
No, it's not about politics. It's about reality. And these people put their lives on the line. They've sacrificed it. I mean, just watch some of the I'm not talking about the Hollywood movies. Just watch some of the documentaries on D-Day, on Iwo Jima, on any of these battles, Guadalcanal, any of these battles. These people literally ran into harm's way. I mean, they got slaughtered, and they still kept going because they believed in what they were doing.
Yep.
Now, you want to call them fools now because you don't believe in the country anymore? Or you want to call them fools now because you don't believe in the flag? That's your business. But as far as I'm concerned, the only fools are the people like you that say that.
Yep.
Because these people were brave, courageous, and honorable. Anyway, I'm going to try to calm down before I get in.
Don't give yourself a heart attack, please.
As final comment, I'd like to say I believe the freedom of speech and freedom of choice. For those out there who are not tolerant to the opposite opinion or belief, maybe you need to check why. It could be your opinion or belief is not powerful enough to withstand the scrutiny and criticism of a conflicting viewpoint. That's all I got. God bless America, and God bless our brave men and women who serve in our military now and before.
Amen.
Happy Veterans Day.
Amen.
And futures.
I did say that.
Oh, did you say futures?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Sorry.
Thank you
And
for saying
futures.
it. Thank you. Sorry for taking so long.
No, I didn't know. It was good.
You'd have been fine if John wasn't distracting you every 5 seconds.
John's my quarterback.
Look at his smirk.
He does
That's what I'm here for.
Distraction.
This is yeah. This
Thank
is
God.
what happens when I'm unsupervised.
I don't care that we're going over either.
Thanks,
I
Wendy.
think it's important. I think it's important to have this conversation because, like you just gave in what 8 examples
8, right?
of people who have risked everything for what they believe in, for what they're patriotic about, and we have people in our country that don't know what sex they are.
I know it's sad.
And
Look in your pants.
I mean, I could have gone on all night.
Sorry.
With
I know.
this. I mean,
I'm sure.
We have famous people, people from Hollywood, like Audie Murphy, who won
John's dying.
every award you could win, from the Medal of Honor down.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mention these people because I wanted to give recognition to some of these people.
Right.
But I mean, it's amazing what these people did to get their awards.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, take away the Civil War because it was controversial.
that dude who carried the machine gun
John Barcelona.
through
Mhm.
the fire back to get the stuff, then back through the fire to go back to his guys.
Well, he burned himself relocating.
Well, that's
the
what I'm
machine
saying.
Right,
He
right.
relocated it, but he went
Right,
through the firefight
right.
twice.
to get the ammo. Right.
One to get there and then one to get back.
Yeah. Plus, he went to the hospital, had the opportunity to stay out of battle and just train new guys. And he said, no.
Sure,
I
he
wanna
wasn't
go
a
back.
German
No, he
because
wasn't.
he
German.
seems feisty.
He was Italian.
And we're offended by pancake
He
syrup.
was Italian from a
What?
great Italian family.
Right? I mean, it's that
You're
stupid.
offended
It's
by
that-
pancakes?
It's that
It's that stupid.
ludicrous
It's that
that we're offended by pancake
What-
syrup, but we
What you need to
Sarah.
ask is these people that want to change the country.
I
from-
want to know who's truly offended by pancake syrup.
hold on. That's making a point.
Sorry.
There are people, I'm sure, but
Yeah, there are a lot of people that resent it, but it doesn't make any sense. But what I was saying is, what I want to know is these people who are so determined to change our country, to change it from a republic to a Marxist government and all the other crazy things they want to do, recognize these 3rd and 4th and 5th sexes and all this other nonsense. Everything is politically correct. Everything you say is wrong unless you agree with them. If these people here, I want to know, can or would they do the same thing these people did? If
They
were
couldn't
in
even
power?
put the suit on.
That's what I want to know. Where is their pride? Where is their patriotism? Where is their
They
price
don't
for
have
freedom?
any. They
So-
don't have any.
So they,
they
just
don't.
want it all, but they
They
don't
want
wanna-
everything handed to them.
they don't want to do
because
anything
they're
for
in
it.
that instant generation.
Next time I see somebody kneeling at an anthem, I'm going to
Throw punch him.
How did you put a comment down there?
that would be
Because that's not him.
that would be his son.
Oh,
That would be the other one.
the other Dan. Okay.
I can't read it.
If not for the people who. You really can't read that.
If not for the people who served our country, none of us would be here to live in our with our freedom that we have now, and that's 100%.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
100% correct.
That's right, Dan. You're right. And it's those people that put it all on the line that really did it. I mean, the First World War, the Second World War, they were terrible. Vietnam was terrible. Korea was terrible.
Every single one we've been to is
but
terrible.
the
Whether
Middle
you
East has been
whether you
terrible.
agreed with it or not, you were there serving a purpose, and it
Exactly.
wasn't pretty.
But ask these people today. Now, there's a lot of young people in our military. I want to qualify that. There's a lot of brave young men and women today in our military that I salute. It's got nothing to do with the age. It has to do with the attitude and what the message they're trying to send, as opposed to the message our young people in the military are trying to send. That's what bothers me.
But here's the thing. I go back to my same question that I always ask, and I think I ask it on a weekly basis now. We say there's a segment of the population that is trying to change the country. Okay. We know that to be fact, but the media and the government want you to believe it's a larger number than what it really is.
Yes.
I think now we're starting to see more and more people come out that align with how we think. That maybe it's the silent majority that's starting to wake up and come out. I don't know, but I'm starting to see more and more comments. You could say we had a conversation about a month ago that you typically your social media group is aligned typically with you, right? That's tend to gravitate towards that. You tend to see that.
Yeah.
That's the content you see. But I'm starting to see, like on news reports and stuff like that, you go down and you read the thousands of comments that are on those news reports. I don't know those people from Adam. And you start to see more of those comments align to what we think. So you start to really think in your head, you start to go, are the numbers really as big as the media wants you to think? Or is it just because they're in such control? It's a facade, and they're making you think that half the country wants to be this way.
Of course, it's a facade, just like the polls that they take.
It's a facade because of the fact that there's a vast majority of people, not a vast majority. There is a large segment of people that believe everything the media says. Still,
Yes.
Still.
Well, I think also
and they only look at one news source,
right,
and
or two, right,
and one social media, and which would will
aligns with each other.
It'll feed you whatever you want to see or hear. And if you don't get multiple news sources from different points of view, you never see. There are certain things, do people still realize that there are hundreds of people, still trapped in Afghanistan?
No, they don't.
No.
Because Joe Biden says everything's okay.
And it's buried.
So it's buried. And the mainstream media is not covering this. And
my girlfriend's husband's still there.
There
the doctor.
There are still members of Congress that are setting up civilian contractors to go over there and get these people out. And because the State Department and the Department of Defense has been told not to do anything.
That's terrible. I think a lot of the reactions of what's going on, to answer Keith's question, I think January 6th plays a larger role than people believe in what's going on. That's why it took so long for the silent majority to start speaking up. They were afraid because of what happened on January 6th with people being called insurrectionists and traitors and whatever the left wanted to call them, they called them. They painted the wrong picture. They lied. They turned a fairly peaceful demonstration. All right, it was wrong what they did. They should have figured another way out, but it wasn't a violent protest. It wasn't anarchist. It wasn't terrorists going up. It was American citizens angry, and they were trying to express themselves. Did they do it right? Probably not. But it wasn't anything like the left said it was, and the media said it was. And people shut up for a while.
How is it different than the Black Lives Matter protests in Oregon?
It's much better. I mean, you can't compare violence and deaths and destruction and fires.
But they were just protesting.
Because AOC was scared to death. All of a sudden,
I'd have gone after that hooker.
Even though she was not in the building at the time.
I'd have hunted her down.
Yeah. She sat there and
could have sniffed her out, I bet.
She cried about the fact that her life was in danger.
Isn't she has PTSD now, right?
That's right.
But then they find out she was actually not in the building. She was across the street.
I can't read that comment.
So Dan's right. Dan says Democrats care more about money and power. They have no respect for what the country stands for. This is all about money. And
it's a big money grab. The whole pandemic's a big money grab.
You're right about that, Dan. Said
Biden must comply with China. Hunter.
Yeah, he's in debt.
That's
for them.
a whole
sniffed
nother
everything
topic.
up.
That's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother show.
We don't have time for that one.
Can we have Dan back for that? Can we have Dan back for that show too?
Wouldn't you think that if they had all this money, they would fix his teeth? So he doesn't have Coke teeth? Please tell me I'm not the only one who thought this.
When he sells a couple of more paintings, he can go to the dentist.
Right.
But wouldn't you I'm just saying.
Who cares? I don't care anything about Hunter Biden.
Don't get me.
I know.
There you go.
Did nobody think about this? That's the
Nobody
first thing
cares
I
about
thought.
him. Nobody
Michael,
cares
don't
about
get
him.
us started on big pharma.
Oh, Lord.
That's a whole nother topic.
It's a whole
too.
nother thing. Michael, you can come on the show and have that conversation with us.
Please do. Come on the
Because
show. and
he
have
would
a
be one who'd
conversation
be
about that.
riled up about it.
Here's my question. I had the opportunity to sit down with Manny when I took Dad to Vegas. We sat down and had a beer together, and because what always goes through my mind is all the veterans that have sacrificed so much for this country. What are you guys thinking now? I mean, I can't imagine what's going. Even people who are serving now, what is going through your head when you see what's
Screaming
going
inside?
on?
What do you mean?
Right? Yeah. When you see what's going on with the country, and
When
more,
there's-
on the
when
military
there's-
side, people in top secret clearances, more than what the general public does.
When they want, possibly platoons of SEALs to either take the jab or give up being a SEAL, and they're demanding that they each will have to owe the U.S. government back $1 million+ worth of training
For not getting the
for
jab.
not getting the jab.
Fuck you. I'll make payments.
They were trained to be SEALs, and if they don't take, and they all, a lot of them had gotten COVID. These are guys
Yep.
that are, as healthy or healthier than
Anybody.
athletes,
Probably healthier.
and has gotten, they have gotten COVID. They have the natural immunity, and they're being told that they are going to have to give up being SEALs, and we're talking hundreds. And so
I hope they do.
and they're being threatened that they may have to pay back what it's cost to train them.
It's
That's
not
sick.
gonna happen.
You
That
kicked
is
me
sick.
out.
That's sick in my
There's
book.
screaming in my head that just says, where did we go violently off into the ditch?
Who's making these decisions?
These are
Everybody that's in
Government.
control.
these are generals and admirals that are more concerned. So you get the general rule has been, or whatever you want to call it, not rule, but the general thought has been that once you get above a certain level, you stop thinking about the men
Troops.
and you start thinking about your career,
Mhm.
and it becomes more political. When you get to
Yeah.
when you get to a 3 and a 4-star level, you're more concerned about your political
Your
career
lifetime. Yeah.
than about the troops.
That's where you called an armchair general. The guys that
And
sit
so-
back and do whatever's best for them and not make decisions. that
And this
help
is where
the
you get a
troops.
General Milley, and this is where you get,
Yep.
all these types of things.
True.
Milley should have been run out of,
Yeah.
there's a reason why he's one of the few people from the Trump era that has been kept on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good point. I never thought of that, but you're right. You're right.
That just makes me very angry to think about that.
Screaming in my head, just general screaming in my head every
I
single
hope
day.
they all walk out. I pray they do. I pray they stand up for themselves and they all walk out. The sad thing is I know they won't.
And,
But
and
the-
it's funny. It's funny you say that, Dan, because they portray it on TV like they all got vaxxed.
Mm-hmm. Did you see? Oh, I still need to confirm that. Hold, please.
Well,
Oh, can I give you a cute little tidbit?
Peppermint Patty was
Or
sitting
do you want me
there
to
and-
end with my cute little tidbit?
end with it?
End with it.
Okay,
So
we'll end with
Peppermint
it.
Patty was touting the fact that she had been vaxxed, and thank God for the vaccine because her COVID was significantly less than what it could have been. Well, how do you know that?
Right.
I mean, she's relatively young and relatively in good
Because she
health.
was told to say that.
Right. But the whole point is, I mean, you may not have been affected in the first place that bad. You're young and healthy.
Right. Right. Or maybe I don't know. I'm gonna get going on a tangent again. I know.
No,
I
don't
can
even
feel
go
it.
there.
I can feel
Not
it happening.
you.
We're
Don't get him started on
no,
this.
because Lindsay's got a tidbit she's working
We're
on.
running out of
It's
time.
a cute little tidbit. I'm
Oh,
very
I love-
excited
okay, we
about
gotta end on
it.
cute. Is it kittens?
No, it's not kitten.
Are you hooked up to the HDMI?
I
so
have
you
to
can
find
share?
it first.
Okay.
Hold, please.
Hold, please.
Bottom line is we have a
Because
divided
I didn't
nation.
do the
That's what
research
it is.
myself to see if
But
it's true or not.
there's something bigger going on though that irritates me with the whole vaccine thing. And John, next week I think I want to get into the article that you sent me because Lindsay brought it up once before, and I think I
Uh-oh.
really want to talk about it.
Okay.
What did I
because
bring up?
about the patent on the luciferase.
Oh, yes.
So
Years ago, like not years ago,
Years
but
ago?
like a year ago at the beginning of this whole thing.
I know. So I think we'll talk about that next
I
week.
have the patent number still.
And John sent a whole article on it.
I didn't read the
so.
whole article.
Yeah, it's pretty
But I wanted
pretty
to.
fascinating. But there's just something so wrong with what's going on right now. And there's a bigger picture
Yeah.
that nobody's talking
Maybe
about.
my story was a lie.
So how do you fix it?
I think it was a lie.
More people's got to stand up and say no. More people have to fight against the mandates.
There's too many people
And
that
who
are
has done
apathetic.
that?
They just
Because
don't pay attention.
unfortunately,
They just don't.
I don't think anybody at my facility got walked out as I did on Monday.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about your facility though. I mean,
I'm talking about in general, though.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I'm saying.
I'm sure your story happens over and over again, but you're starting to see more and more people that you wouldn't think would go against the grain that are starting to go against the grain.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because I think people are starting to have enough and people want to get back to some type of normalcy, and they're not letting that happen. They're just taking this further and further
Because they can.
Exactly.
The whole
exactly.
thing is that, see, in Lindsay's case, she was determined to stand her ground, and I totally respect that. But you also have to understand a lot of those people that worked with her have 2 or 3 kids, a house, a mortgage. So they knew that. They knew these people know those things.
And
So
that's
they
why
pressured them
everybody got a
until
raise
they
after the mandates got
Exactly.
pushed out.
This is why they gave in. It's not about your own beliefs, because if they stuck to their own beliefs,
They twisted your
were-
beliefs.
They would have walked out because they didn't believe in injecting themselves with some unknown vaccine that's unproven. They can say all they want about it's safe because we've had it out for a year. That's not safe. You don't know what's going to happen 5 years from now.
No.
Nobody knows that. If suddenly now we find out people are starting to die for blood clots and all these heart attacks and everything else, they're not going to connect it because the media is not going to connect it. Certainly the left's not going to connect it, but there's something going on.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk about it, but there's something going on. Something negative is going on with the vaccine. And I'm not anti-vaccine. If you want to take it, take it. But do a little research. Give it some time and see what happens.
Right.
Because you don't know the long-term effects of this. Nobody does. This guy Fauci, or whoever the hell his name
Don't be
is.
pulling people's jobs because they didn't want to jump on the bandwagon
Yeah.
with you.
But I mean, Fauci's saying everything is okay. How does he know?
He's such a fucking asshole.
How does
But-
he freaking know?
So this is something that I had seen earlier on and I've been telling Dan get off social media, but I actually
Yeah.
I'd actually seen this earlier in the week, and I thought it was interesting. And somebody had wrote, the pandemic is to force you to get the vaccine. The vaccine is to force you to get the vaccine passport. The vaccine passport is to force you to get the social credit system. And the social credit system is to force.
That's true.
And if those that are not aware, there is a social credit system already in place in China.
Explain what that means, John. To the people that
I
might
don't
not
know the entire details about it, but in short, simple terms, you get a social score dictated by the government. And so just like a driver's license where you get points taken away for bad driving, you get points taken away for bad social behavior.
We're
And
talking
so-
about a Marxist government, a communist government.
Communist government. And so when you get points taken away for bad behavior, you get punished in some fashion. I don't know what the actual punishments are, but let's
Could
keep
be-
in mind
We're
that
going to get in trouble for bad social behavior.
yes.
Oh, shit.
So and just keep in mind, I mean, the Chinese government, the way it operates as a communist government is the fact that they tell you what job you're going to do. You get paid X amount of dollars. You basically get allowance. You get housing, and you get a what do you call it? A discretionary fund. And that's what you use for buying your food and
Ooh,
and
your
whatever
son's
you-
yelling.
And so the discretionary fund, you decide how what food you want to buy and what you want to do and things like that. So it's basically like a kid's allowance. And
Right.
the point is that when you get punished, what happens to a kid when they get punished?
Cut off your
Sometime
allowance.
Or they take it.
take away your allowance, you get grounded or things like that. I'll guess what happens when Big Brother wants to punish you.
So on that note, I like that because Lindsay sent this to me and I forgot to put it up.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll read this real quick and then I'll put up Dan's comment. But it says the coming week, Monday, I'm sorry, we can't allow you in the store without a mask. Tuesday, I'm sorry, to cut down on the spread of the virus, we will no longer take cash. Wednesday, I'm sorry, We cannot approve your purchase without proof of vaccination. Thursday, I'm sorry. Your credit card record shows you have reached your monthly allotment of gasoline. Friday, I'm sorry. Your credit limit has been reduced to $50 due to the offensive comment you made on Facebook. Saturday, I'm sorry. Your credit card cannot be used until you complete your social principles training. Sunday, I'm sorry. We show that you tried to use your credit card to make a contribution to your church, so your card has now been deactivated.
Yep.
So.
Sounds like we're on what, Wednesday?
Wednesday.
What's it spell? Spelled communism, Marxism, everything that we hate spells.
It's all about money. What is government paying pharma for the vaccination and stage control over the people? This is a test. Percentage of the people who will comply in this country is the path of dictatorship.
And that's why I think they're doing it, is they're feeling it out. They're seeing how much of a fight they're going to have to put up.
You said your kids didn't agree with you.
Or the Great Reset.
Oh, I said they did.
They do?
Oh, Lord, baby Jesus, get them all together.
My grandchildren do.
You got to talk into the mic.
My grandchildren do.
That thing.
I don't like this thing.
The people can't hear you if you don't talk.
You
to
realize that if we ever get the whole family here together,
Oh, Lord.
we're going to do an episode with everybody.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Oh, my goodness.
So
to answer your
Oh,
question,
because I'm just going to be the flamethrower.
It's a
Yeah,
whole
you're gonna
lot of
come.
riling up.
I'll
You're not
sit-
even allowed in the house.
I'll sit in the control room for that.
Oh, I'll
Oh
just.
my
I can just
He can shoot through
send
the
in
window.
comments. I can just send
There
comments.
you go.
no, you could be here.
No, you need to.
the
You'll need to
instigator.
be here too.
That's
You
okay.
You are the instigator. So you
I'll
have
sit
to be here.
downstairs.
All right. We have
It's a whole lot
we
of
have a closing
Davidsons.
tidbit.
Yeah,
Oh, my closing tidbit is so
we are
cute.
running a little late
I'm
today.
super
That's okay.
excited about it. Do you know not when, but why M&Ms were made?
Oh, that was cool. Yeah.
Isn't
No.
that a cute little
They,
tidbit? You
they
know
were
what I'm
made
saying?
back in the Second World War
Why?
because they didn't melt in your hands. I don't know.
100% true.
that's
They were
exactly
made
what it
for the
was.
soldiers so they could keep chocolate in their pockets and it wouldn't melt.
Boy, I'm good.
It was made in the candy coating. Shut up.
Who-
Look at you.
Who's good? Who's good at? I mean, I wasn't a guess. I knew that. I'm
You
brilliant.
it was just you just knew it.
I just knew it.
I thought you were gonna talk about the tidbit that they released a photo of Biden 40 years ago with a tattoo on his arm,
I
and then when they
couldn't
show you,
find it. I don't think it was true. I
You
think
don't think
somebody's
it's true?
cropped it. Yeah,
No.
because I can only find that one picture. There's no other pictures, which makes me think it was
Even if he
cropped.
did have one by now, it would be so crinkled up that you wouldn't be able to recognize.
But
it
his
anyway.
vaccine arm is super hairy, like monkey arm, and no tattoo.
monkey arm. You mean like strawberry back? we should have
That
kept
was
that
a funny
picture, out from
picture.
last week. That's pretty funny.
Oh,
So,
so
all right. On
I
that
don't think
note,
it was true.
Yeah. On that note,
first of all, I want to say thank you to you, Dad, and John for your service.
Oh,
thank you.
thank
Absolutely,
you.
and your patriotism, and thank
Just-
you to everybody
Just be
out
the
there.
good American worth fighting for.
Is this Taylor on here?
I
on
really
Rumble?
wish I could have served. I wanted to do the Navy, but having one kidney,
Well,
I couldn't
Dad
do
didn't-
it. So.
Dad didn't make you with 2 kidneys, so what do you say?
What can I say?
Dad's fault.
That wasn't Dad. That was God that made
Not
me
the
I
run
Air
one
Force. Not
kidney.
the Air Force.
There's a reason for that.
Not the Air Force.
I was deathly afraid of
He
flying
was
back
definitely a
then.
Navy
And I
guy.
love the ocean.
He
so
loves the boats.
I would have loved to have been in the Navy.
I don't
You
mind.
should have seen
don't
him when
mind
we
the
were
Navy,
on the
John.
boat. Oh my God.
I'm a boat guy.
I never would have made it because I couldn't swim,
And you hate boats.
and I hate boats.
You don't like
I wouldn't
boats.
have did well. I get seasick. I mean, I get on a ferry. I get seasick.
That is our Taylor.
Why
Taylor's
would I
on
want to
Rumble.
join the Navy?
Cool.
You know, so 6 years in the Navy. You want to know how much time I spent on a boat?
Not too much, right? Because you were in aviation, right?
So, you know, I think I spent there was a 2-hour tour at Pearl Harbor, and then there was a 1-hour tour at Pearl Harbor, and then and I spent 3 hours. Probably the longest time I was on a boat was at Midway in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
What
Interesting.
When it was a museum ship.
Seriously?
Yeah. 6 years in the
He
Navy.
was in aviation. You're not in the boat in
But s-
aviation.
But still, wouldn't you be like the air traffic controller or something on the boat or something like that, or no?
I flew.
But don't you land like don't you live on the boats even though you fly?
No.
Everybody doesn't live on a
Not-
boat that's in the
not-
Navy.
No,
Well, no,
this was.
I have no
these
idea.
These were C-130s. They were much too big for a boat.
boat, yeah.
Okay.
That's
Those
transport.
are
Why
the-
are you
those are the big
smirking at me
boys.
like I'm supposed to know this? I don't know this.
C-130.
We're gonna have to talk to you about what TACAMO.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys are having way too much fun.
All
over
I
there.
know is I took the test. They wanted me, and then they told me they were going to send me to basic training in like Montana or Minnesota or something. And I was like, nope, I'm good.
Because it snows.
It snowed.
I don't think it was Montana, but
Something like that.
Probably Minnesota.
Could be. I don't know. There was snow. Yeah, he's a fucking wussy. Speaking of tattoos, guess who's going to be whining and sniveling next week?
I could be whining.
I'm so taking a picture of
I
you
am
if you're
not going to
whining.
whine at all.
Wow.
I'm excited.
He's going to whine.
I'm not going to whine.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine.
Are we gonna, you want to put money on this?
How much money you want to put?
Shit, we're going to do a show before I get my tattoo.
Yeah.
So I won't be able to talk about it
you won't
on
be
the
able-
show. God,
No, you'll talk about it the next week,
Yes,
though.
we will. I'll show it off. Hell yeah.
You are a cocky little one
I
right now.
am.
I'm going to
I am.
enjoy this. You don't even know.
You know I'm gonna. No matter how bad it hurts, you know, I'm
And
gonna
so
be
you're still
sucking it
going
up.
to do it.
We're
You're
just gonna look
suck
over.
it up.
I'm gonna sweat pouring out
You're
of my
gonna be like
head.
this. Yeah.
It'll
I'll be like,
fun.
how's that feel, baby? Great.
Anyway, I want to thank everybody for jumping on tonight with us. Please go share, subscribe, let everybody know about our channel. We definitely want to continue to build our channel. We'd like to get everybody on Rumble if possible. I know Rumble's a little bit difficult to navigate in the beginning. That's why we continue to stream on Facebook and YouTube until we get kicked off, which will probably be very soon. So please get over to Rumble.
Yeah, probably from my
subscribe.
comment. Sorry.
Like I said, please share it with your friends and family. I think we have some great conversations on the show that everybody can get involved with. And in fact, we encourage it. We encourage everybody to chat with us, give their opinions.
And Mike and Dan, if you're interested on coming on the show, send me a message.
I'm sure Dan would love to come on the show. He already said he would. So,
Well, let's do it the week after you're whining and sniveling. My arm's fine. It doesn't even hurt.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's the mute button?
How
Can
would
hit
you
the mute
do?
button
How
on
would
there?
you do? How would you do that? Remote with them?
He can go on video. All I have
Yeah.
to do is send him the link, and
You can send him a link and he can be on it at
He
home.
can use his phone.
Okay. Yeah.
Or he could, come here.
Uh-oh.
Wow, that was pointed.
Just saying.
That was pointed.
John will give up his spot
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
I'll
to
go.
be the
I
flamethrower
have
from
no
the other room.
I have no problem going in the control room myself. So
We could sit you right over here.
we'll have Dad
No.
on here.
Oh,
We'll have
that's
Dan
true.
on. It'll be Dad, Dan, and John, and you, and I'll be in the control room.
Wow,
That'd
Oh,
be-
Lord, help
that'd
us.
that'd
That'll be
awesome.
That would be
That'd
it.
be gangbusters.
That'd be a great show.
Yep.
So anyway, I do want to send our thanks out to all our veterans and our first
Yes,
responders.
thank you.
As always, thank you for your service. Thank you for what you do. And God bless America. And I will leave you with our little Veterans Day video so you can see John and my dad in their younger years.
Oh boy.
Oh, shit.
So thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.